Right, good morning everyone. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes talking about flexible dieting and touching on clean eating as well. I'm going to try not to rant and I'm going to try not to swear too much because they're just complete idiots at either end of the scale making ridiculous claims and not really helping anyone. So there was a post on social media yesterday explaining how a calorie is not a calorie, and to back up that claim, they were comparing a Mars bar to a steak. Now, for a start, if a calorie isn't a calorie, what is it? So that's just nonsense to start with. And then they started comparing a Mars bar to a steak. Now, it's got to be the worst comparison I've ever seen in my life. So let's just touch on exactly what flexible dieting is in its most simplest form. You have a total calorie intake to hit. You have a total protein intake to hit. Often you have a minimum fat intake, basically due to the health benefits of fats, and then carbohydrates make up the rest. And you can manipulate the fats and carbs to suit how you prefer to eat or how you prefer to eat on certain days. That's basically what it is. Now, flexible, that can be anything from swapping a chicken breast to a piece of fish, or a steak to some white meat. It doesn't mean just filling your diet up with Ben and Jerry's. Now, if anyone who calls himself a flexible dieter is telling you that, or is claiming that, they're as much of a fucking idiot as the head cases who are at the extreme of the clean eaters. So that's really what it is. So, and also there's a fibre intake to hit from a health point of view as well. So as a rough guide for anyone listening, for every 1,000 calories you eat, roughly about 15 grams of fibre. So as long as you're getting them broad figures right, you can then manipulate them to suit whatever you want. So you are still eating whole foods, clean foods, whatever you want to call them, but you are allowing yourself some of the foods you prefer to eat, or the treats, if you want to call them treats, that you want to fit into your diet. But it just means they fall within them parameters, rather than what other people do is just sticking it on top of everything else they eat and putting on weight. So from a more sensible point of view, there is no difference between flexible dieting done correctly and clean eating done correctly. It's just that flexible dieting is done, it's more measurable. It's done with numbers, you count in the calories. Clean eating done correctly and away from the cult of clean eating and organic food and, I don't know, gluten-free, clean eating is exactly the same. 80 to 90% of your diet is natural, whole foods, whatever you want to call it. And then you've got small amounts of treats, whether in the same day or at the weekend, in a normal, sensible amount. I hope that covers it up. I actually did better than I thought from the anger point of view. Yeah, stop listening to bellends. Bye.